Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are having a wonderful day. In today's video we're going to be doing the January base box try on. I know I am late with my Boxycharm unboxings and try ons, but I am trying to play catch up, so just hang in there with me. I do have all of February's boxes and March boxes, so they will be coming up soon, so just hang tight with me while I get caught up. So you know, you guys, I like to start off with my eyes, and we did get an eyeshadow palette with this box. If you haven't seen my unboxing, I will either have it linked in the cards or linked in the description, so you can watch that if you want to know what all the products are, what they're about, how much they cost, and the total value of the box. And it also might already be on my TikTok, so if you don't follow me on TikTok or any of my social medias, my Facebook, my Instagram, my TikTok, my Twitter, I will have all of those links in the description as well. And if you enjoy my videos and have not subscribed, please click the red button and turn on the notification bell. When you click the red button, it'll turn gray once you hit that button, so you will be notified when all of my videos are up and coming. So we're gonna start off with the Wonder Beauty Escape palette. Like, this palette, just from looking at it, makes me want to go to the river or like an ocean or something. And here's what the inside looks like. I will most likely throw some swatches on the screen, but I want to play around with like the browns in here and this gold shade called Stargaze. And the reason why I'm starting with my eyes is because this always gets messy for me, so I want to start off with my eyes just in case if it gets a little too messy, I can clean it up and we can go from there. So I'm gonna start off with the shade Nude Beach, which is this brown shade right here. Don't forget to tap off. I'm just dipping and swirling. I like to swirl and dip. Even though that caused cake up in the pan, I prefer to do that. So I'm only gonna put this in my crease. It's more close to my skin tone, so this is before I do that, I forgot that I did not put on a base, and I want to put on a base. So let's stop for a second and go back. I did not put on a base. So I have this little shadow stick from, I don't remember where it's from. When I figure it out, I will put it on the screen, but I'm gonna just use this to put on a base so I don't have to use concealing, because I haven't gotten a new eye primer yet. But this works just as well, and it's very sticky, so it'll be easy to just lay down some color. And to me, this doesn't have to be like perfect or anything. Just cover your lid as best you can. And like I said, I'm only gonna do one eye on camera for you. So I'm just gonna take this fluffy brush and we're gonna go back into Nude Beach and blend this up in the crease. I'm gonna do my whole crease today with this color, so just windshield wiper motions back and forth. I'm done. We do have an eyebrow product. It's from Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's their pomade, but I do my eyes first, so then I can clean up my eye and my eyebrow at the same time. It's just easier. And like the little shadow stick will help, because I put enough on to where if I get eyeshadow up near my eyebrow, it won't stick so much to where I can't finish off my eyebrow. So I just laid it down. So I'm just gonna go back in. Make sure you tap off your brush. The second time I'm not going to tap it off, but the first time I did, it can get powdery, so if you don't like that, tap it off. But I want to concentrate the color all in the crease, so I'm just doing this until there's no more left on the brush and it's diffused as good as I can get it. I think it is diffused enough. Now we're gonna go into the shade Sunset with the same brush, but this time I'm gonna focus Sun-Kissed into the inner portion of my crease. same windshield wiper motion, just brushing towards the inner portion. I kind of hold the brush like a pencil, like I would hold my pencil, so that's why it looks like my hand is covering my eye, because it's easier for me to hold it that way. I say when you're working with eyeshadows, hold the brush whatever feels comfortable to you. Now we're gonna switch brushes because I want to take this overnight shade. As you can see, a bunch of fallout just happened here, which is a darker, more like, it looks brown in the pan, but I don't know how it's going to come off on the eye. And I have multiple brushes in front of me because some of them always fall on the floor, so I don't have to stop. Like you probably just heard, oh, this is like a chocolatey brown. So I'm gonna take this chocolatey brown and stamp it on my outer edge. I'm not blending yet, I'm just stamping it on. So I want you to pack it on and then we'll diffuse after we pack on. But I'm gonna diffuse it out to my right, not in. So now that it's on the edge, if I turn my head, like you can see it, I tapped it right there. I'm gonna take the brush that we haven't used, it has no product on it, it's clean, and I'm just going to flick it out a tiny bit to brush it out and down to keep the color concentrated on the edge. So I'm just flicking it downward and not outward to diffuse the color. And I'm gonna go back in with that fluffy brush that we used to pack it on to pack some more right on top, but also trying to diffuse it a little bit, but keeping it in that central area. Now that same brush that I used to diffuse it and still has no product on it, I'm going to slightly take it in a little bit to blend in with the other two shades. So I'm gonna blend it into Sun-Kissed and Nude Beach, but only a tiny bit because I want this to be concentrated in the corner. So like maybe not even a quarter of an inch. And I'm going to slightly dust until it's really diffused in that pocket. It's diffused. So just keep going back and forth until you feel it's blended enough. I don't want it too blended that it disappears, but I want it blended enough so it's not so hard. But by blending it in, I don't want to lose pigment. So it is blended, but it's not harsh anymore, at least in that little pocket. But to make sure I didn't lose the edge on the side, I'm just gonna go back into where on the outer V, just pack that on to keep that color, but don't touch the diffusing that we did in the corner, like 1/3. That looks so pretty. Now that we have our browns in, I'm gonna use this 4th shade Enchanted. It's a little bit warmer here. I'm gonna use Enchanted, which is right here. And you're probably like, are you gonna show us swatches? I am going to show you swatches and all of that, but I don't like showing swatches, if I'm being perfectly honest, because I feel like swatches don't help you. Swatches don't tell you how they perform on the eye. They don't tell you much. Yeah, they can be pretty to look at. So I'm just gonna take in the inner portion a little bit of Enchanted. Be careful. I'm just swiping this. I'm not stamping this because I wanted to diffuse all the colors we have together. So I just took a little bit to do that on the inside. So I'm just tapping it a little brushed. Now I'm gonna focus on the lid where you still see the white portion of the shadow stick that I used. We're going to, I really want to use this Stargaze shade, so I'm gonna dip my finger in that. Look at that color, look at that color. And I'm gonna cover that little line. Oh, that is pretty. Oh, that is so pretty. If you know that song where it says, I feel pretty, oh so pretty, that's how that color makes me feel at the moment. amazing, 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 amazing. So this is the eye look. Now I'm gonna go off camera, do the other eye, and I'll be back. Hello guys, I'm back now, and I say let's work on the eyebrows now. Like I said, I've never used a pomade before. I've just used a spoolie and a brow gel to do my eyebrows, but the Anastasia Beverly Hills pomade came with this little brush, so I'm going to attempt to use it. And that's what I like most about Boxycharm, is that it allows me to use things I've never tried before. This does have a spoolie on the opposite end, so we're going to try. If you're wondering what brush this is the brush 7B, the 7B brush. And then there's an angled brush here and a spoolie on the opposite end. So I'm going to swipe the brush in the pomade, like just one dip, and see if I can do this. I feel like I'm drawing on my face doing this, trying to put the brows on shape. So where I'm going to focus the pomade is on the ends of my brow, underneath, like filling in it underneath the gap that's on the tail end, and then like flick it up to smooth down each end, like filling in that little gap underneath my eyebrow, which is now look better. I'll get better at this pomade thing as I do it, but I'm only focusing this pomade on like the ends of my brow because that's where the sparseness is, and since it's a dark shade, I want the pigmentation to fit there because that's where I need it. So that looks okay. Let's try the other side. So I'm gonna dip back in, like one swipe dip sort of thing, so I can try to do the same thing. Remember, your eyebrows are not twins, so they don't look exactly alike. They are sisters, which means they look similar. It's harder to do this on my left eye than it is on the right because I'm right-handed, so I'm used to doing that. I'm not gonna extend the tail on that side. I'm just gonna leave it the way it is. Okay, so this is the best I could come up with the pomade. I'll keep working on it, but my eyebrows look pretty good. Now I'm just going to take this little spoolie end and smooth over my eyebrows, like following the shape of my eyebrows to like brush out like the pomade harshness on some parts. So I'm just brushing them in the direction that they naturally go in, but focusing where I put that pomade because it'll probably be way too dark in that area compared to the rest of my eyebrow. And then I'm gonna let the pomade dry, like trying to lay down everything. So that is my eyebrows. I know they look a little bit harsh. Like I said, I'm not used to pomade situation, so I have to get better at that, but they look good to me for a first try with a pomade. So that's the eyebrows, and I really do like the consistency of the pomade. It's not too hard. It's very emollient, not too hard. So as long as it stays emollient, I feel like I can work with it. But if it gets like a harder texture, I don't know how I would work with it, but I'll keep trying it to see if I want to do anything like this. My eyebrows look very harsh as I'm looking in the camera. I'm gonna get a little bit closer so you can see, but they're not too harsh than what I normally have for an eyebrow. Like my eyebrows are naturally thick. One side is thicker than the other. So guys, I'm back now. I had to change my camera battery. It died. We have a new battery in, so we're good to go. But my eyebrows are complete. I know they look a little bit harsh, but like I said, it was my first time using a pomade. Usually I just use a brow gel that is tinted. I don't really know how I feel about the pomade yet. I'll have to keep testing it out to see if I really like it. It wasn't that hard to use because it's not that thick, but using the brush and then a spoolie is the part that I'm gonna have to get used to, but I think it worked for what I needed it to do. But remember, your brows are not twins, they're just sisters or cousins. Like, they're supposed to look similar but not exactly the same. So let's get into the rest of the face. We're gonna move on to the under eye, and for that under eye, I'm going to be using the Dermalogica Eyelid in Dark Circle Corrector. It has a metal applicator, and this was a Boxycharm item for January. I'm going to do this to my under eye. Usually a corrector, like an under eye corrector, is like blue, pink, or orange to cancel out the lines. So I'm just going to squeeze some dots on my face. We'll do this one eye at a time. So I just squeezed a little bit, like you can see here, like I squeezed it a little bit. It is white. I'm gonna take this like square looking brush, and I don't know where my concealer brush is at the moment, the one I normally use to run this under my eye. I might have used a little too much. Now that I've ran a little bit under my eye, I'm just gonna take my finger and massage it in. I don't think they completely disappear, but they do look a little bit lighter. They don't look as dark, but I'm still gonna need concealer. I'm gonna do some on the other eye as well, but I do like the metal applicator because it is cooling. So I had a little bit left on the applicator. I find it better to blend this in with my finger than I did on the brush on the outside. It is smooth. I think it canceled it a little bit. I can still see some dark circles, but that's what concealer is for. But it does lighten your under eye. I don't know if over time, if you use the corrector, will your dark circles, fine lines go away completely? But we'll keep testing this out. We are going to use the same concealer that we've been using, which is the TYNT concealer and under eye cream. I love 2-in-1 products. So this is in the shade Sand. So I just squeeze like a drop out on the metal applicator, but this one you have to hold and squeeze. So I'm just gonna run both. I definitely needed concealer today because y'all, I ain't been sleeping. Like, if I sleep lately, it's only from like late in the morning. Like, I go to sleep at like maybe 4 and then I'm up by 10. So this is not a concealer brush, but it's working for the purpose I need it to. I like a flatter concealer brush, but it can, then I just go in with my finger to pat in the concealer or the tip of the sponge. Okay, now any extra concealer on the sponge, I'm just gonna run down the side of my nose. That'll help cover some of the redness from the heat that we got going on. Concealer is done. Now I'm just going to speed up this video because our last 2 products are lip products. So I'm going to do the rest of my base, but I'm gonna speed it up and add some music. So I'm gonna do my primer and blush, highlight, and bronzer. And I'll have those linked down below. They're not new products, you've seen me use them before, so. Okay, I just found a new trick for my powder blush that I never thought about. And the only reason I thought about this now is because I left my blush somewhere. This is a very pigmented powder. It's the darkest blush that I have right now. It's in a powder form. And I've seen people do this with like cream blushes, but not powder blushes. I took my sponge and dipped the sponge into the powdered blush, and you can see all the blush on the little thing, and I'm just lightly tapping this onto my cheek because it allows me to have better control over how much blush I use. I will have to do this more often. Blushes. Now I'm pretty sure I'm not the first person to think of this, but I've never done it before. I've never applied powdered blush with a sponge, but I like it because it comes out more diffused, especially when your blushes are pigmented like this one is. I didn't like set down my foundation. I used the bronzer for that because sometimes too much powder can be drying to the skin. Yeah, it's getting hot. So last thing we're going to do is lip. Oh, I forgot how I look. Okay, so the rest of my base is done. I'm just gonna spray my face really quick to melt down some of the powder. I'm gonna just use this Maven Beauty Setting Spray. Close your eyes. Wow. Setting spray can be refreshing, but then it takes a minute for it to dry. I just want some of the powder to melt down for a sec. Okay, some of the powder is melted. Now we're just gonna go into lip lining. Our lip liner is from Dragon Beauty. Not sure what shade this is. I'll have it in the description box or on the screen. It's a brown shade, and I know it doesn't match with what we got going on, but I try to make sure I use all the Boxycharm products that come in a box when I do these try-ons, even when they don't match. But this lip liner is creamy, even though it's a wooden pencil. It is still very creamy. So this is what the lip liner looks like by itself. It's like a muted brown. Then our last product we're going to use is the lip oil from Item Beauty. This was the last Boxycharm item. Still smells like peaches. And if you know the Justin Bieber song that says I got my peaches out in Georgia, that's what the smell reminds me of. This just gave me a nicely glossy finish to my lip, and it's comfortable. This is why I prefer lip oils to lip glosses, because lip oils give you that shine, but they're not sticky like some lip glosses can be. Very cute. I like this look. So we're gonna spray with setting spray one more time. So guys, keep this about 10 inches away. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Here's the finished look. I enjoyed all the products that came in the January box. I found use for all of them. Remember, this is the base box, but my only questions or concern is about the Anastasia Beverly Hills pomade. The only reason I have concerns about that is just because I don't usually use pomade, so it's something I have to get used to. But remember, I'm always thinking of you. Sending my love, and bye for now.